I guess if we have to
Was
play.
it not convincing?
You always do that right before we start.
suppose.
Byron's always in any game or any stream I've been on with him. Right before we start, he gets a one-liner in there, and just before you say, "Hey, everybody, we're live," you have to laugh at that. Anyway, so yeah, we are live on Myth Brigade.
So was that the "Hey, we're live"? Was
Yes.
that-
Hey, we're live. So yeah, we are here. Just a couple quick shout outs. One, tomorrow night, Len, one of our players, is actually running her first live stream, which is awesome. It's going to be for a 5e campaign with Tyler and I and a new player named Matt. It's called The Den. So look for that tomorrow night or actually, I think it's like tomorrow afternoon at 6 Eastern.
6.
And then Byron is going to chew some tobacco and beat the hell out of some people next Monday on the 15th. So if you guys happen to catch this. But tonight is all about Night's Black Agents by Pelgrim Press. And our director, Byron, is going to tell you everything else you need to know. So let's do this.
All right, welcome, Myth Brigadiers, to Night's Black Agents. Man, we're getting up there. I cannot believe that we started this like so long ago. Like it seems like so surreal that it's like been so long already. New
So
Year
good.
and all that happy stuff. So and I really feel that everybody's really getting into their characters. We're starting to see some depth to their characters and so forth. So without further ado, this wonderful cast that has assembled to play this game, because it would be crap without them for sure. So Tyler Wingate, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Excited to see where drinking vampire blood gets Red Lily.
You both drinking vampire blood and got drank vampire blood.
God drank vampire blood.
Got drank vampire blood.
God drank.
Yeah,
So
you
no,
did a
like,
really good.
Hershey.
You did a really like live impersonation of a Capri Sun, and it was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
complete with crumpling and everything.
Yeah, completely crumbling.
It was
Yeah.
terrific improv.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're also kind.
Dan, how you doing over there?
I am good, and also looking forward to this week's meltdown of the post-vampire drinking of blood between Tezla, Hello Kitty, Lily, and
Oh, Kitty Lily.
we'll see how that goes.
You're a new personal friend. That's all.
Yeah.
New personal friend. Brent Tesla.
I'm doing really well. I can definitely confirm that Papa is very disappointed in all of you, and there will be, and we're gonna have to have some words. Like I'm not angry. I'm just mostly disappointed. So you can take that as you will. but yes, I'm doing great. I've been excited for this for the last 2 weeks because last session was fucking amazing. Like it was so I had to process it. Like I couldn't go to bed. I was so pumped after it because it was like real fucking cool. So very
Alright,
excited.
That's cool. I like that.
Appreciate that. And apparently we're going to be sponsored by my dog barking in the background today. Tara, Dr. Terry Mitchell.
What's up, guys?
I like it.
She's forming the.
Nice and
Concise,
subtle.
Ugh.
Nice
concise and to the
subtle.
point. Concise and to the point. Absolutely.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? That's it? There's nothing?
That's it.
All right.
Just a big fat sigh for you.
Just nothing. That big fat sigh.
I
Understandable.
entering this episode with great reluctance. I am not looking forward to seeing what effect drinking this blood has on my friends and my colleagues here,
And Lily.
and also
Okay.
rude, so rude. No,
We'll put a pin in that, Johnny.
nope. No, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next, and very, very, very fascinated by this Lisbeth character, and is she good? Is she bad? Is there something in the middle? I don't know, but it can't be good. It just can't be good.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Mr. Jason Jones.
I am.
Evan.
Lisbeth gave me chills. I'm with Brent, so I sat up for most of the night and just thinking like, God, that was dumb, and Johnny's gonna hate me, and I've lived under the shadow of my decision for 2 weeks, so I'm ready to figure out what it's about. And at least what I can say to you out there on the internet is, Evan, though he may die, he died on Lily's team,
doing what he loved.
because Lily's now dangerously vampiric as well. So. God,
What
I'm
better
excited.
way to
Let's
become
go.
a super killing assassin?
Yeah.
Than to also become a vampire.
Would that be Vamsassin or Aspire? Or...
Aspire. It'd be Aspire. It'd be Aspire.
I
Definitely.
aspire to be a vampire.
Oh, Vampassin. I like it.
Vampassin.
I like the Vampassin.
Vampassin.
Let's go with that.
Okay. So without we could chat forever because we're good at that. But all right, so to get into the game, so last we left off, you had met your new friend. The team had infiltrated the nightclub, of course, in searching for Dr. Draws from the World Health Organization, Terry Mitchell's boss, the head of the hematology department at the Mortet, or in English, the Dark nightclub, where you met your new, very animated friend Ryzen, and he had several things to say. Evan was going to lead you guys up to Ryzen's office, and then realized that Ryzen wasn't really in charge here, that someone else pulls the strings behind the curtain. And once Lily and Dr. Mitchell had been comfortably seated in Ryzen's VIP area, the guard came and tapped tapped Evan on the shoulder to lead him to the conversation with the boss. And he was completely unable to really let anybody know what was going on. So he kind of vanished, where he met his new friend, none other than Elizabeth Nazdi, which they later found out was none other than Elizabeth Bathory, the Countess of Blood. And so they entered into a small conversation with her, and the team stepped away from its subterfuge and obfuscation into just a simple chat around a table where Lily and Evan pretty much downed some shots, and then Johnny thought better of it after Mr. Tezla exploded with his just very spot on determination and I guess commentary of what he thought was going on at the moment here. So when the camera left, Elizabeth was talking to you all. You had agreed to some sort of, I guess,
Word.
what'd you say?
An accord.
Yeah, an accord, right. To basically pursue something that she needs done, and she will in turn provide you some answers and give you some guidance to hopefully do what you need done. As you share common goals, we'll say, in some manners. So with that, why don't so how do you feel about what's happened?
Are we doing it entirely introspective without actually?
Yeah. How does so what does Johnny think about what's transpired here?
Well, Johnny is actually started the stopwatch function on his watch after they drank it, and he's waiting to count the seconds to look into the van when he can tell Dr. Mitchell to give both Lily and Evan and a medic to cause them to vomit up as much of the blood as possible. And then he wants Dr. Mitchell, he's thinking about what tests he wants Dr. Mitchell to perform on them to see exactly what changes this has evoked in order to further our research and enhance our knowledge, since Evan and Lily have volunteered to be guinea pigs in the great battle against vampires.
Wow.
But, Johnny's tactical, Oh, did you want me to talk about feelings? Because we could do that too.
I mean, you can. What is
Johnny-
Johnny?
Johnny is like, he questions. I mean, obviously, the whole dispute between Tezla and the vampire, and Tesla's display concerned Johnny because Johnny was afraid that Tezla was going to push the scene and erupt it into a combat. In which case, Johnny was concerned that the entire mission was going to go. So he had a lot of concerns about it. That only half the team is now currently infected. Is maybe optimal because now we have a connection with his vampire an accord that we can leverage and use to further take down these vampires. But he's concerned about Lily. Lily's never been exposed to this before. As far as he's concerned about Evan is a junkie. I mean, Evan drinks this stuff in somewhat diluted form like every day for like months. So he's concerned that it's going to make Evan's habit even worse and that it's going to ruin his health. But ultimately, he knows that the mission is the most important thing. And he's had agents before who used heroin, other drugs, and got strung out and didn't survive to the end of the mission, but did what they have to do to cope, which is how he kind of looks at Evan. But for Lily, he's really concerned. I'm sorry, Evan, did you hear that? Sorry.
That's hurtful, though,
So
Actually-
Evan was the first to participate in the full-on body shots of vampire blood.
Yeah.
So how does Evan feel about this?
So it just sort of called to me, and I thought that's what Johnny would want. We need an end. She's friendly, and if I bond myself to her, if I make myself more meaningful, and God, shit, there's so much there, right? I could yeah. So I just did it, and then as she was blathering on, and it was hitting me and feeling good, I realized that she might talk Johnny into doing it. So I did his shot too. I took it for him. And I hope he realizes it was a sacrifice that I was ready to make and that I would do it again if ever I'm faced with taking extra drugs to keep him alive. So right now I'm just all right. But
Noble.
I think Evan's sort of pensive and just waiting for that conversation that hasn't happened yet. Like he's sitting in the back of the van as always, not making eye contact with Johnny or Dr. Mitchell. And then I think Tesla's probably staring at him in the rearview mirror and making him feel like he's going to try to murder me or something for this. But yeah.
You think Johnny's disappointed in you?
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Christ on a pancake. I'm screwed.
So how does Dr. Mitchell feel right now about all this?
She's freaking out a little bit. She has her suspicions about the street scarlet stuff, but straight up drinking shots of vampire blood is something else entirely. And she doesn't understand the magical part of this at all, as far as like any bonds and powers and whatever. So she doesn't she's of course triply concerned about Lily having been drunk of and drinking of a vampire at this time, and two different vampires. So what's that gonna do, and how's that gonna play out? I'm worried about whether we talked about this last time, about whether she's going to be able to read our minds and or their minds at least. She seemed to already have the power to read minds to some extent before we even drank of the blood. Although it occurs to her now, was she able to manipulate Evan because he'd already drunk Street Scarlet?
That's a
cool.
very good question.
She didn't really demonstrate that with anybody else, right? So interesting. Terry's mind is split between scientific fascination and sheer dread for what's to come.
Nice.
And then there's this little teeny piece that like is a relieved that I didn't didn't drink the blood. There was sure lots of temptation for that data, that knowledge. But there's a little bit of excitement now that we have this connection that maybe we will find out something useful.
But she gave you a sample of her blood.
And she gave me a sample, right? So I'm interested, looking forward to doing science, but I'm also interested in learning from her directly too.
I mean, she does look so young for a 450-year-old.
Very. Maybe it's Maybelline.
If looks matter to you that much, I guess.
It's some oil of Olay, some good shit.
It's oil of Olay. Cucumber water.
Yeah, that's it. That's the secret.
Go for your skin.
Dr. Mitchell would know that I've always had an affinity for older women, so I've reached a pinnacle of my obsession.
Yeah, but most of those look older. This one.
Yeah. Have you been in my history again, director?
Possibly. Possibly. All right, and I guess that's everybody, right?
Yeah.
How does Lily feel?
Lily feels like it's just a means to an end. Really, the only threat that she feels she couldn't face after last time is a vampire. And if that gives me an in to learn how to kill him, fuck it.
Or not necessarily an end, but what about the ability?
The ability, the knowledge.
Does it hone Lily even further, making her a more destructive weapon?
And I mean, if she wants to read my mind, she can think about death and Hello Kitties all day.
But in no way the death of Hello Kitty.
There's no way the death of Hello Kitties. Those are two completely separate things. Murder and Hello Kitties.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that, the camera pans out. You see just a shadow, kind of like chest down of her as the camera shoots from behind her to the panel of you guys sitting on the sofa, the purple velvet covered plush sofa. And you see her tapping her hand on the glass. She says, "I am very happy we have made this accord. It's good. Perhaps you can expedite these things which I need done, and in return, I shall grant you the knowledge to make these things happen that you may not have. There are those who collect information that you do not have. You have already begun to uncover some of that, but I can tell you where they are, where their files are. And, of course, you can go get them." He says, "There is one that I wish is no longer. Specifically, that is my target. You can accomplish that, then I shall help in any way that I can. I cannot, of course, take any direct action. However, you can. And so, what is this that you require? I will have my associate, Dr. Draws, or Simon, as you know him, Dr. Mitchell, will take you to his lab, where he has many scientific data that you can use at your disposal. But what questions do you have?"
How do we hurt people like you?
Oh, no. That's
So
the
good.
thing, Lily, is that, well, I don't want you to hurt people like me. I want you to hurt other people for me.
Lily's
He
always
says,
had a problem with prepositions. English is not her first language.
There are things in which, like I said, you do not know. Hours of which bring us to bear. One thing I can tell you, not all of us are created equally. Not all of us share the same weaknesses. Not all of us share the same strengths. I will help you discover these of the prey that you seek, and you can do the rest. Who is it that you target? Who do you wish to hurt?
Oh boy, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. I cringe. Waiting for Johnny to say the D word.
I think that we have common enemies. May I ask?
Oh, I agree, Johnny.
Tell me, of all the lords and creatures of the night, who amongst them would you, my lady, like us to take down? Please, let us begin with what helps you the most. Would that not be preferable?
Well, it would definitely be preferable to me. But accomplishing your goals is what you wish. So I shall help with that first. Perhaps in kind we shall get to my business.
Oh, so you will not tell us who it is you wish us to, that you would most like seeing taken aback, or at least investigated by us? I mean, we are a wrecking ball, aren't we?
Well, some of you may have some relevance to wrecking balls. She says, however, I like to think you have more a dull sword needing to be honed into a surgical knife. Perhaps something as strong as a Japanese katana, per se.
I'm just going to say 10 years ago, in near Russia, I encountered a vampire that killed my partner. I have a particular vendetta against this vampire. As I can go into more details about it, but that's what I want to find.
Russia, you say? Russia is a very, very big country. It was larger probably then than it is now. She says, is there a particular area of Russia? What can you tell me of this individual you wish to hurt?
Okay. I'm having a bit of a brain fart. What's the area near Russia that starts with an O? It's really bothering me.
Starts with Odessa? No, that's Romania.
No, it's like why am I having a? It's like I'm having a really.
It's an O.
Or it's like a. It's okay. I will get back to you, but I will give her relevant information. I forgot my own backstory a little bit.
You're right. So she says, this individual you described, you said that it attacked you in a car, peeled back the roof. Supernatural strength, obviously one of its abilities. It does not appear from your description to be a direct descendant per se of some, but in some ways, I believe he would be associated with an individual's organization. There is one particular that runs with Russian military background and also with some of the Russian mafia gangs and so forth.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? It's not Georgia.
Oh, that's an O.
Yeah.
That's an O, yeah.
It's got no
Yeah,
O.
it's so close.
The third letter's an O.
It's like near Russia.
Yes. He said, I do believe I can put you on the trail of that individuals, or at least that individual's, shall we say, lineage.
Byron, would it be possible to use any kind of bullshit detector? I'm trying to remember. I have a little bit of that because I'm watching her very closely.
So bullshit detector is designed mostly to work against human opponents. So that is one you could make I'm going to say a 1 point spend to kind of manipulate it a little bit to work on her, because you've kind of established a little bit of a baseline with information that she's told you and information that you've given her. I think so. With a 1 point spend, I would say you could.
Okay, I'll spend my 1 point on. I'm studying her, and this is important. I want to see if she's full of shit or not.
So you don't think what she's saying is full of shit, but as you probably already suspect, she's definitely tailoring her words to specific things. Almost like she's attempting to guide you into what she wants, but allow you to say it in order to get your buy-in. So kind of some reassurance you see going on also.
My God, the vampire's manipulating us?
Wow.
Well, manipulating you. Sorry.
Oh, damn.
I'm not saying anything to her about my personal shit, but I'm going to ask her about her personal shit. And she's like, I sense you're the force in you. I'm telling you nothing too. So the rest of you, please divulge everything. It's like, I was like,
oh yeah. I would also tell her that the kid was really distinctive. He looked like he was maybe 14 or 15 years old. He had blonde hair and green eyes. Like he looked young.
That was the guy who tore the roof off.
Mm-hmm. Like I probably didn't tell the rest of you guys that, because you guys would have been like, oh, like a barely adult ripped off the roof of a car. It makes me sound crazier.
There are things in which this powers and such keep us younger than we appear. Not me, of course. I am always this young. But she says, that is why I do not believe it is I believe he is a creation, not an actual linear.
So you're saying he's like one of those augmented soldiers, maybe?
Yeah.
No,
Can you describe
more than that?
Can you describe the explain lineage to us?
So there are many ways in which one can come to, we'll say, the situation that myself and others similar to me are in. Some are created by their sires, and some are created by different methods. Some were created many years ago, long before my birth. Because that depends on which ones you speak of. The ones that Mr. Tezla here wishes to hunt down are children. Children of another. And killing the children does little. Killing their sire, well, that is much more powerful, much more useful.
Does it carry down the death to their children? In other words, you kill the originator, and the rest of them go.
It does not kill them directly, but it does hamper them. It does make them much easier to remove.
Temporarily.
Yes. Yes, very temporarily. Well, I mean, not temporarily. Yes.
I like just the yes. That's interesting. Are you able to communicate with your progeny? Are they able to communicate with you? I mean, beyond the norm, say, by speaking in a room or on a cell phone?
I'll be honest, progeny is not something I'm interested in. I prefer to work with those of your nature.
Why?
Much more predictable.
Easier to control, I'd guess. Kind of do my little heel tap to signal Johnny that as much I'm stating the obvious, but I want him to know that I'm not as high as maybe he thinks I am.
certain sins would really reveal themselves to be more important than others. You know what I mean, don't you, Evan?
I suppose so. A lot of what you said makes sense tonight, actually. You know, when you really think about it. Vampires and all. But, so if you're created from different places, how are you and you have different strengths and weaknesses, how are you at all the same? I mean, where do you come from? Are you aliens?
We're not all the same. Many, well, I don't know that you're ready for the beginning yet. We're still baby steps.
Oh, boy.
These children that you wish to remove, the ones that are responsible for Tesla's stuff, some would call them Ardat Lili. They are children of Lelitu.
I'm sorry, he said daughter of Levitu?
Children of Lelitu.
Now you're too quiet, Dan. I can't understand you.
Yeah, you're a little bit low.
All right. I took
So
out auto.
who's got some? Let's see here.
Internet.
History. Where are you, history? So, Mr. Dan, you have some art history and also some regular history. So when she says Lilitu, it makes sense to you. You've heard that name before. That name is from Babylonian lore.
Oh, actually, was my next question. Was like, how far does this go back? So
It's
are we talking,
Babylonian lore.
like, is it cuneiform clay tablet Babylonian we're talking about?
Yeah, or even earlier. More like gods of the Babylonians in some ways.
Right. Is Lilitu one of the 7 generations of Babylonian gods? Each one the progenitor of the next. Do I know it from the creation myths, or is there anything else I know about it?
So, yeah, you also know that Lilitu was also referred to in Hebrew. And it's a female, and she was known as Lilith.
Ah, Lilith. First wife of Adam. And since the tribes of Israel spent close to 1,000 years as the prisoners of Babylon, it makes sense that they would have passed on a lot of their history. So
are you saying that, or is that Johnny's knowledge?
Well, it's Johnny's knowledge, but Johnny might say that, being an art historian, and she said Lilitu, he will ask, and this being Lilith from the Hebrew Bible? Or from the Hebrew texts?
Yes, the same.
It said that she's a beautiful woman, not unlike yourself.
Very unlike myself.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, say again?
He is unnaturally beauty.
I see.
See? Vanity.
And so, did you ever meet Lilith?
Perhaps we have crossed paths.
Really fascinating. May I ask how long ago you last met her? Roughly.
Oh, it's been some time.
And forgive me, being a mere mortal, sometime, a century, a millennia?
Oh, hard to track down exact times.
So
it seems like every day is 100.
So just to clarify, are we talking about the Lilith who was Adam's first wife, who got kicked out of Eden because Adam didn't like her being on top during fucking, and so she got kicked out of Eden? That Lilith?
Dude, I gotta buy your copy of the Bible.
And I must say, a rumored member of the Anunnaki as well.
She laughs. You say a rumored member of the Anunnaki, and she laughed.
I freeze and fucking my neck breaks. I look at her so quickly. Wait, 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 Johnny. I'm sorry, but what? Why are you laughing? Do you know the Anunnaki?
I speak of things that aren't make believe, Evan.
Well, the Waku Waki? The what?
Poor Evan.
Oh, go
That
Well,
that
what the fuck is that? Explain, Evan.
listen. There was a character on Sesame Street, America's show for the idiot children. Sorry, fashioned after your kind. The Anunnaki are not make believe any more than you are. They're real.
Are you talking about the Snuffleupagus or Big Bird?
I'm talking about the counting vampire. Get it?
You mean
God, Tezla. Oh, she crushed my soul. He'll withdraw into his what's left of his high and just
you really did not explain what the Anunnaki is.
They're aliens, Tezla.
And for fans of the show, I'd just like to state that Evan's opinions do not reflect the opinions of the cast about Sesame Street whatsoever. Just to say.
or Americans
Or America.
You share for idiot children.
or their children. Yeah, I have some of them. It's fine.
So
She says, yes, the stories say that she is the wife of Adam. But that is not the husband you should be wary of.
Some other husband.
please go on.
She is a bride, but not the bride of Adam.
I'm just like, are we? Why don't we just say Dracula? I just say it out loud. I'm like Dracula, right? Right? I look at all you guys. I'm like
One of his many
y'all know he's.
Can we just cut the poetic bullshit?
You should say one of his many names. So Dracula is antediluvian?
Dracula is long before Dracula. That is only one name he is known by.
And you're saying that Lilith was a bride of definitely of a vampire, you're saying, but of Dracula.
Not was, is.
Right. Right.
He says, however, I feel you are in a unique position to fix that.
Does your kind get stronger as they get older?
Test me and find out.
I pull my pistol and shoot.
Really?
Lilith.
You pull your pistol, and so first off, I'm assuming you pointed at her, right?
So epic.
I'm not really paying. Yeah.
Or you pull your pistol and shoot
Fall
it
from the
like,
hip
at-
and shoot at her
Okay, so
in her direction.
you pull from the hip. You pull from the hip. You point your
Good
gun
go.
directly at her. She does not even flinch. You pull the pistol, point it directly at her, and you cannot pull the trigger.
Well, the magic bullshit's real. I'll
I'll
move the gun to the side and pull the trigger and shoot her. To try to shoot next to her.
Shoots me in the leg or something.
How far?
I'll literally just move over until I can physically shoot.
It takes a good 3 or 4 feet. And she said, "Hey, there's no need to ruin my architecture. It takes many years to bring these things together." She says, "I will give you that one for free." She says, "If you want to know whether you can shoot me, all you have to do is ask. I thought we were already clear on this."
I mean,
I think Evan, he's got his feet up like when the bullet hit the carpet. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he's kind of, "Yeah, just ask you next time, all right?" For God's sake.
Johnny's making a mental note that if we hypnotize Lily so she cannot see the vampire, but instead see something else, then she can shoot. That might work. So he's putting down the strategies as we go along.
all right. So the deal is you're going to help us get. I mean, I know I want to get my guy. It's like, and you want us to get Lilith and Dracula. So what we're gonna need some major hardware to do this. I'm gonna need lots of explosives.
She says, "I just simply want you to help you with your tasks, Tezla."
I need a new fucking sword.
I was going to ask for that for you.
Johnny's
All right.
impressed that Tezla
She
kept
takes
his-
her hand. She takes her hand and she puts it up like this, and off one of the shelves over by the glass wall where she has the liquor and stuff, a katana flies into her hand, and she says, "Jedi Knight, why get the new one when I've already retrieved yours?"
What?
And she sets it down.
Force powers.
I pick it up.
Hey, so we lost our drone at a church.
We blew up our drone.
It's kind of one of a
In our
kind.
C4.
They seem to be on back order.
Well,
I know I'm 450 years old. I'm still at the mercy of Amazon.
of course. Well, I'm guessing we probably shouldn't be standing in this room, jerking each other off all night. It's like, you're gonna just send us the information that we need, and we'll go from there. How are you gonna contact us? It's like, you're gonna, I don't know, send a bat our way. A carrier bat.
Please forgive my colleague.
Send a bat our way. Writing it down.
That's a great name
Send
for
it.
the episode.
Yeah.
I like that.
He says,
Message,
"Well, you're
communication by messenger bat.
Messenger
Yeah,
bat.
it's messenger bat. Like, it's like Hogwarts except with rabies.
Hogwarts, except with rabies.
She says, while your etiquette may not be as advanced as I would wish, she says, you would do well to watch your tone.
I just kind of avert eyes a little bit, and I'm like, well, look at the time.
Do not mistake our accord for friendship.
But Lily and I, we're cool, right? 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 No? No? Got it.
You realize now that basically Johnny's gonna do an experiment where we make basically Evan starve for V for like 6 weeks while we see if you can like telepathically pull some V through some bars like in a jail cell to see if you got any vampire powers now. But that aside,
you want this?
yeah, that's right.
How bad do you want this?
Can you do force powers? Can you? But that aside, lady.
And I'm totally on board with this.
Sorry.
I wonder if I could shoot Evan.
We're cutting out of scene.
That's what Lily's wondering right now.
Flash forwards already out of the scene. But, lady, you wish us to proceed against Lilith and Dracula. Is that correct?
Mention no name of that particular name. That was your creation.
And it is incredibly interesting to learn that Dracula is so old and at Lilith's original origins. Do you have any tomes or books that perhaps that we could study?
Because there are tomes and things of which you can find in which have that information.
Are
He
these
says,
things?
I am not in possession of those books, though, but I can tell you where you can find them.
Oh, that would be lovely. Is there a library that?
It's more of a sanctuary, per se.
Tell.
What is ring?
Yes.
Fancy, you have actually settled on the thing I was about to say. Ring. The home of old characters from books and such. And she says, the ring is where you shall find the information you seek, or at least a good portion of it. She says, I have no, I guess, preconceived notions. It is much more secure than the Prosper Pine.
It would have
Prosper
to be-
Prime was secure.
Do you know the password. We understand that it's a special phrase based off of the writings, and I will quote back to her the quote from the book.
She says, I cannot get you in.
Oh, that's
I can only tell you what is contained therein.
That's fine. We can get into just about anywhere.
Well, obviously, that's why we're talking.
Tell lady, what is this resource or book that, and how would we identify it if we saw it?
She says it's known as Le Dragon Noir.
Oh, we've heard about that too, Le Dragon Noir. And do you know who on the premises has the book or where it's located?
I know it's there. It's a secure facility. There is one I have heard of known as the Hound.
When you say one you've heard of, like a vampire that you've heard of there? at the
No,
ring?
I believe she is an agent of some sort for one of your intelligence agencies.
Oh,
Or
yeah, we
was
could totally
at
kill
some
that
point.
bitch. That's fine. No problem.
Yeah.
He says, but there are those at her disposal.
Hey, what's
What do
the
you
deal
know?
with these super soldiers?
What do you know of Edom?
Edom is its own thing. It has its own desires that do not align with me or you, for that matter.
What are its desires?
To wield as a weapon things that should not be wielded.
Call it.
Is the
It says Edom wishes to use those who will not be used for their own agenda.
Is that why they're making the super soldiers? Are those hybrids or something? Those aren't vampires, are they?
Their attempt to make their own progeny.
Interesting.
Progeny beholden to them.
Is Edom its own entity, beholden to known nationality? For example, we're understanding that it was connected to the United Kingdom.
At one point, it was under the purview of the British intelligence.
At this point, as far as you know, completely splintered off.
It was, shall we say, closed down, disavowed.
The ring was disavowed.
No,
I see.
The organization was disavowed.
Edom was
But-
disavowed.
But then the people, they obviously didn't stop. In fact, imagine how tantalizing it is. And I look at Lily, the prospect of immortality being bulletproof. I mean, obviously you were tempted enough by the concept. Imagine how many other soldiers would be tempted by that. Or even old politicians or old powerful rich men. I mean, Edom makes perfect sense. Its existence makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Was the ring once the finishing school for Edom and no longer? Is that correct?
I believe it still represents that in some way.
So the ring is Edom in some way.
It is the highest locale I can track down.
Were we to
If you're going to strike at your victim, why start with the arms when you can strike at the heart?
Sometimes it's good to practice with the arms so that you know what the arms are likely to do to you on your way to the heart. You know what I mean? Like stampeding right in toward the... There's a Monty Python quote in there somewhere.
And that is exactly why I helped lead you to the Prosper Fire.
you did.
Wow.
And is it your desire that
yeah.
we would also take out the finishing school at the ring?
I mean, does it not benefit you? Is it
Oh.
not what you wanted?
Of
Your
course,
actions
lady.
would show between the destruction of the monastery in Romania and Salat.
Indeed.
I forget, what are the people with the moon tattoos called that like work for vampires?
Those are the Ravani Zagani.
Yeah.
You see anybody like that in the club?
Yes,
Yeah, Ryzen had the tattoo.
Ryzen has them.
Oh.
She said there are those who are useful. There's many can be gleaned by those who work for others. She kind of smiles.
Is that what you want with us?
No, I do not wish to control you or wield you as a weapon, as Edom would do with someone of our kind. She says, I wish to simply help you to further your own tasks.
I don't wish to wield you. Corollary, I already do wish you, so I don't need to wish to.
I'm going to go ahead and
Again, picking words wisely.
I'm going to take out some pliers and I'm going to snip a little thing on my dead man's vest, and so I can release this dead man switch I've been holding for the entire time. And I'm going to reach into my pocket.
Your hand is just cramped.
Yeah, it's like getting really cramped from like, holding it so I don't kill everybody in this room. Well, all of us, she'll be fine, I'm sure. I'm going to pull out on a piece of paper. I'm going to write down a way for her to contact me. And I'm like, it's like, yeah, if you can direct me towards that blonde kid, that'd be great. And I just set it on the desk and just slowly push it over to her. And then I take a step back, a couple steps back, like, all right.
We will get there, Tezla. Baby steps, baby steps. I do not want to send you to your death immediately.
And she doesn't need to call you. She knows where to find us. When you go for that little fucker.
What hurts people like the
I'm there with
child
you.
or Lilith? What are the weaknesses
What are
of
its
the
weaknesses?
child or Lilith and Lilith?
Those who are descended from her, who are her progeny, can be stopped by very simple things in some ways. She says they cannot enter a room without being invited. She says you can stop them from entering a room even when invited, at least should you control the threshold.
In other words, you uninvite them, and then they're forced to leave.
That unfortunately does not quite work, but you could. It's going to sound kind of crazy. She says, you can bury an empty bowl directly beneath the doorway.
What?
And after they've entered the room, then they must leave?
Well, technically, they would be unable to leave the room.
Could they destroy a wall and make a new exit?
If their point of egress has been stopped, then they shall not leave such rooms.
Right.
There are some which are stopped by, let's just say they're easily cornered.
And the empty bowl, does it matter if it's upright or inverted?
Well, if it was upright, it wouldn't be empty.
Very wise, Lily, very wise.
Does it not still contain air when it's upside down? Come on now.
Could we use plastic?
Who was the vampire on the Prosper Fund?
Economy materials? Does it have to be metal? Does it have to be stone?
I do not know a name, but he was a progeny of Lilith's master.
Of Lilith's.
Lilith's husband.
So he was a progeny of Dracula.
He was a homeless man made 3 days before. He was by far the weakest of our.
He was, shall we say, in military terms, lieutenant. He had been off the radar for some time.
Was the entity that pursued us at the church in England, I hope that you are aware, that was a powerful entity. The weather changed. Who was that?
She says, I'm afraid I must digress. I do not, I could not see those things. That is out of my purview.
Oh, so he's more powerful than you. He blocked you from seeing it.
And who is your sire?
My sire? She said, surely you've heard stories. Believe of them what you wish.
Do I know any stories?
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I mean, the blood bathing virgin killer. Who knows how many women she killed? and
Girls.
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, I get the feeling that probably didn't turn her into a vampire, but still.
Tell me, lady, has anyone ever documented the vampire bloodlines?
There probably are those who have documented some of them.
Interesting. The ones.
There are those of us who know about some others.
Do tell.
That is what I have for now.
Is there an order that the vampire keep to keep their histories for them? Sages and, scribes, so as to keep the important things recorded.
The Ravani
Some of those
Savani.
they are tools of use. I'm not sure if they're used for that manner, though. But there are things to glean from them. As servants in any household, they see things the masters do.
And may I ask, are you aware of who is the most formidable person at the ring? Should we go there? Who would be our main obstacle, if that's possible?
The most formidable person. That would depend on many things, Johnny.
Say we were discovered. Say Evan was discovered.
Evan would die.
The tools at the Prosper Plan were meant to keep those in. The tools at Ring are to do both, keep in and out. It is a much more formidable place to enter.
Any leads at all that we could maybe exploit in order to get into the place? Anyone that you know who is addicted to V? Anyone you know addicted to or in need of money? The typical human weaknesses.
He says, I cannot see within the facility. Do not have that ability.
Oh, really? So Johnny makes mental note. She can scry, and something about the ring causes her to have a blank spot. It sounds like, which I guess is why she said she couldn't see the church either. Maybe vampires can block each other.
Why were you watching the Prosper Pine?
For some reason, you watch Hello Kitty cartoons.
Is there any alcohol in this room?
It's very interesting. There's tons of alcohol in this room.
All right,
There's a whole giant bar over there, all top shelf.
I'm just gonna go over to the bar and pour myself a glass of booze. I'm gonna sit down in the chair, and I'm just gonna start drinking from it with an annoyed look on my face.
So when you go over there, you do see underneath the bar, you can see there's like a beverage refrigerator. In it is just like, it looks like just bags hanging.
That's so awesome.
I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna get the most expensive alcohol that my character that Tezla can understand. And I'm just gonna pour myself a big glass of it and sit down there.
There's some really, really high-end Russian vodka over there. For sure.
Sounds great. I make myself a white Russian. Just like the Big Lebowski.
All right, yeah, there's no milk over there.
All right, well,
You can use the blood. A bloody
Let's
Russian.
toss a little bit of blood
Bloody
in there.
Russian. Bloody Russian.
The bloody
That would
Russian.
be so
It's
epic.
a Russian.
That'd
A
be
red
so-
Russian.
Red
The
Russian.
red Russian. So when I sit down, I'm gonna hold up my glass as a sort of like a salute to her, and start drinking it.
She obviously doesn't care that you're drinking her liquor.
Lady,
I mean, I'm assuming she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Johnny will ask, lady, is there anything else of note that you could tell us that you think would be helpful to us in the next steps that we take? We appreciate your frankness and your openness.
Yes, yes. She says sunlight, as rumored, does affect certain of our kind.
How often per month do you go to the tanning bed? Often? No, not at all. Sometimes.
Her skin is like as white as like bright paper.
No, I mean really, like just before you go on a cruise, have you ever there's a spray tan thing? Is that what you do? Just checking for a friend.
Both aren't really my thing.
Are there any weapons or tools or tricks that we can use as defenses?
As you can imagine, a stake through the heart is not exactly, seen as a happy moment. He says the one you seek can really only be killed one way.
And
You mean Dracula or my blonde kid?
Or Lilith.
Yeah.
Or the sire of your progeny.
Lilith.
He says you must take her head, just as the old Greek Medusa.
All right.
And taking her head where? Just by cutting it off and then we're done, we can walk away and it's all good, or is there some ritual that must be followed afterwards?
We have to stuff it with garlic and bury it like the old legends.
If you were to bring it to me, there would be many rewards given for such things.
Like John the Baptist? No?
He says, bring me her head. I can give you many things you wish.
Is Lilith susceptible to sunlight?
Maybe not as much as her progeny, but yes, some.
I see. Is it with age that she gained this immunity to the sun?
That I do not know.
Let's
So-
go back to what makes your kind stronger. Someone asked whether it was age, and you didn't really answer. What makes your kind stronger? Is it the number of progeny? Is it the number of victims?
He says, it really depends on the individual. Strength is measured in many ways. He says, strong as in power, strong as in physical strength. How do you mean, Dr. Mitchell?
Power. Just pure power.
Power is simple. You just have to be the one to wield it without others knowing you wield it. That is true power.
And the personal power that vampires like the one that you did not see, that we felt in the church, that can change the weather, that kind of emanating power that comes from the body, is that with time? How does that come about? Is that just a natural born vampire is powerful and some are not?
She said that individual has powers which I do not even know. It is best to steer clear of him.
What is his name?
You already said it.
oh dear, she's gonna say it again, isn't she? Say it. Go on.
What happens if you say the name?
3 times in a row.
Like I said, he is known by many names.
Is Beetlejuice one of them? Maybe we could. This would be simpler if it were.
Well,
No,
if you know that it was him, may I ask, do you know why he was interested in us at all? Or were we just there by coincidence when he was?
Parker had many notes. Notes which would prompt people like yourselves
to take action as a parent in your own action.
Do we even know what his fucking goal is? I mean, he's just hopscotch through time, sleeping. He causes a bit of stir each time he awakes, and then he goes back to sleep again. Doesn't seem like he exactly has plans on world domination to me.
Domination is exactly what he plans, Tezla. Domination of all things.
You say that kind of like you're a little too excited about that, I think, really. How do you feel about his domination of all things? You on board with that, or you?
I think no one should have that type of power on their own.
I see.
What is your ultimate goal?
Stay young and beautiful. Which, so far, I've accomplished.
Yeah, right. It's good.
So, at the risk of sounding divisive, why should we not be interested in destroying all of your kind?
This. I am not foolish, Dr. Mitchell. I already know that is your goal.
I don't know that we have a goal other than to learn, but it seems to me that vampires are dangerous to humanity.
They can be.
Well, what differentiates yourself from
Nothing.
your sire?
I am different than any sire. She says, I do not wish domination. I wish to control all. Only what is mine.
What is yours?
It depends on the moment. She says, sometimes my range grows, sometimes it whittles smaller.
Am I sensing some sort of bizarre affair of the heart thing here where, like, we're going to find out in the end that you and the big D are supposed to be together or something? And because if this winds up being this is the worst romantic comedy ever, really. Stop staring at me.
Oh, that's why she wants us to get rid of Lilith.
Actually, this actually is D. You just don't know it because D's in disguise. Very good in disguise.
Yeah,
that'd be deep. That'd be deep as shit, dude.
If Dr. Mitchell is finished like with that part of her questioning, Johnny will follow up and ask, "Lady, may I ask? You know, Dracula is a master manipulator. You know that he bends all wills to his end. How do you know that you yourself are not a tool right now in his master plan? That he wants you to do this now? That it isn't just another stepping stone to the ultimate fate of the world?"
Well, because he has no reason.
Darn it, she knows his reasoning. Tell us then. Tell us his reasoning. How is it that you know this? How is it that you are so certain? Johnny's scrutinizing her very carefully, but trying not to appear that he's scrutinizing her very carefully.
There was a time when I was much more higher on the hierarchy, we shall say.
She's fallen from grace.
I can't believe it. It's beyond imagining that you are underneath his notice at this point. I don't believe it. I won't believe it. Trying sort of trying tactfully to elicit more information. How could this be, lady? Someone as great as you. I can roll dice if you think I'm not too thick.
No, I know where you're going with it. I see it. I see it so subtly. So subtle. I like it. Trying to think of what you would notice. So, I mean, you have 3 points of reassurance. So, with a 2-point spend.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because this is definitely supernatural level.
Done.
You can literally, I mean, it seems weird, but you can begin to actually see the veins
in like her neck and stuff. Because she's wearing kind of a low cut blouse, you know, of like black lace and purple velvet. And you can actually see like the tendons in her neck and stuff tighten. And you can tell that she's angry at your line of questioning, but she's trying to do everything in her power not to respond.
Yeah.
I just to re-echo it, I refuse to believe it. It's beyond conception.
So you push it even harder now that you know that?
No. I don't know. Is that pushing it? I was trying to reassure her that
you can.
it's the farthest thing from my mind. Like, it's inconceivable to me. So as to not anger her, but hopefully to learn more. But like she would explain. But I guess she's not going to. She's just going angry. I won't push. For the sake of my team and the ongoing
Their
adventures
lives
that we're going to go on.
and their lives.
That's right. That's right. I've watched my counterparts do like incredible things in this room, but like put a gun, you know, drink her booze without asking her permission, you know, whatever. I'm not going to do that.
I'm like,
Didn't make
all
her
right,
intense.
I think we're pretty much. I think that pretty much concludes show and tell, right? We get in the van now. Is there anything else you want to share with us that's going to be helpful for this mission that you're willing to provide?
You're saying that to her?
Yeah, I'm just going to ask her. Is there anything else that you can provide that would be helpful for this mission? It's like you obviously are only going to provide things that are going to be that's not going to reveal any weaknesses on your part. So I don't have a problem with that.
She says, let's be honest. We all know you want to know my weaknesses. Because your ultimate goal is, to, of course, to rid yourselves of me also and my influence. But fear not, I have no hard feelings for you. There is no need for us to be on the wrong foot here.
I don't have it's like I have a particular vendetta with a particular creature. I mean, so far you haven't really done anything to me personally. In fact, I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea that you're actually doing anything that awful here anyway, other than participating in a drug ring. Which who gives a shit about that? Everyone participates in some drug shit all over the world. So I'm not going to go to Colombia and go kill a whole bunch of cartel members just because they are leading to the degradation of society. So we're fine. But anything else about the mission that you can think of, or is that just about it?
Because, like I said, other than to give you knowledge that Ring is where you shall find the majority of the answers you seek, he says, and we can compare notes after that, perhaps.
Did she give us contact information last time? So be sure again.
No.
How will we
Yeah.
contact
exactly.
you?
Yes. How do we contact?
Oh, I have birds. I shall send one.
She'll watch through me and Evan.
How do we contact you?
Well, you know this is my place. I suppose you could dial up on the telephone.
All right, we have the
Sounds easy
magical.
enough.
We have the number for the place.
Do? Yeah, the number.
You've been very
Oh.
generous. We greatly appreciate your hospitality.
I'm gonna spend a point of preparedness to pull out a burner phone and just set it on the table.
Hmm.
Milady, could we leave this with you?
Sure, I shall give it to someone for use.
Thank you. Ladies, gentlemen, shall we? Stand up. My sweaty hand still holding my dead man switch.
I'm just gonna walk over and I'm like, it's this wire, and then I just clip it with some wire. I finish my drink and put it over.
Like she
All right, let's hit it.
Stand up, I guess, assuming that she seems ready.
Okay.
I follow suit.
She doesn't move whatsoever.
Gotcha. And I guess if no one is blocking our way, then I gesture to the door, amazed that they're all still alive, and including myself, and should we go?
Okay. You go and you see as you open the door, the sound of the music and stuff is apparent to you once again.
It is really impressive
It
soundproofing.
really
It
is.
is.
I mean, you could just torture as many people as you want in this room.
Are we on the second floor?
Yeah.
In my mind's eye, I look at the architectural layout of the place when we scan it out. Would it be possible to put an upside-down bowl just beneath the jamb of this door on the lower level?
No.
What a
It'd be
jerk.
impossible to what?
Nothing.
That's
Pay
so
no attention.
good. So good.
I don't know.
I already had that thought. And I realized we were on the second floor.
Would it be possible for us
Super glue.
to put? Yeah, exactly. Put an empty bowl underneath the jamb of this door on the first level, so as to put an empty bowl beneath the door jamb, and then let loose with the C4. But no, Russ, scene.
I could almost. It would be great is if you did that and she had to call to have someone to remove it. We just leave it there. That's our calling card.
That's what we see on the way out.
Dude, that's it. We should start our own service.
Our own
Vampire bowl
bowl
removal service.
Vampire bowl removal.
That's right. There you go.
I'm gonna have to go scrape that, get that C4 off of the side of the wall.
That's right.
The one I was gonna use to blow into the room.
Technically, you never really got to finish putting that on there. You were interrupted during that time when you were doing that. You were on the outside of the wall and you were thinking about doing it, and that's when you got contacted.
Oh, okay,
It
gotcha.
never actually. That was what you were doing, but it never actually came to total fruition.
So the whole C4 comment, wasn't there a reference or an allusion with an A, an allusion to the vampire we blew up on the Prosper Pine not really being dead? So do we really think that just blowing vampires up is a good way to spend our C4?
Like, that guy was fucking dead.
So one thing you do know very well, and that is that when you left, Lily's sword was still at the bottom of the ocean right there.
Right.
Now it's here.
And somehow Elsbeth has it.
I'm
And
just
she
like,
said she retrieved it for you. So you would believe that either someone within her power or herself has actually been there since you left.
it was probably that guy that we rescued. He's probably an agent for her, and they were trying to shake him down to get information about her operations.
Sure, it's also possible that she's got other vampires, obviously loyal to her. And think, what better deep sea diver is there than a vampire who doesn't need equipment and doesn't really succumb to pressure? Just down to the bottom, up to the top.
I feel like I need to appeal to Evan here for some reason. Evan, are you listening to them? Did you not get the impression that I did that this guy is not dead?
Yeah, no, I got that impression. He's not dead.
I mean, we could look at the cells and see how if they're regrowing or reproducing what they're doing from that bottle we have.
Sure, but I don't think they work exactly the way you're.
I have no fucking idea. I'm not a
Yeah,
scientist.
If blowing them up does not work, then we should just retire right now and just wait for the end of the world.
That is
Well,
the
I mean,
most
you just told us
pessimistic thing
about
you've
stakes
said.
through the heart and cutting heads off. I mean,
Why the fuck would a stake through the heart be more effective than just destroying his entire physical body?
Everyone will
don't
be
know. I
staked
didn't
and
make up
beheaded
the
from
lore.
here on out.
Everyone is staked and beheaded. All mortals.
everyone.
Everyone is
Everyone.
getting
Everyone.
everyone.
the guy at the drugstore, the gas station, everybody.
You're gonna
Both
like
the guards downstairs. As I start walking, I just start beheading and staking everyone in the club.
The valet guy. Yeah.
Those poor bastards that are just hanging
fuck
out.
that guy.
Right?
He parked the car.
So I mean, I don't think I've caught the conspiracy bug.
Where'd Dan go?
Blood. But you guys are not under. You don't believe that he's not dead.
I would like to believe he is dead.
You would like to.
I don't think it's
I would
possible.
like
I
to
got the
believe that.
impression he is still alive. Yes.
So that's why I'm bringing that up, because we, despite all that, keep talking about using C4 like it's going to be a permanent solution.
Whenever Lily talks about the finality of that particular entity, she can sense some sort of existence.
Oh, fuck. That's deep. Oh.
I can feel he's still alive.
I think I would sort of scoot away from you very suddenly. What the fuck are you talking about? You feel he's still alive. He bit you. Let me see your teeth. I would lift up her gums. And let me
Yeah,
just,
right.
As soon as you got closer, I'd be like, ah!
Lily flosses a lot. She always has
Right.
Like perfect deep.
So did we get back to the van?
Lily, have you been whitening your teeth? They're really.
Yeah, I'd be like, Johnny, wake up. Hey. And you wake up at, representing your absence. She just said she could feel the other vampire's presence. Or something.
Lily.
The one that bit
The
me.
one that bit her.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
I was going to suggest, Doctor and Tezla, could you set up some equipment? We need something sensitive to monitor the electromagnetic waves around these two. We know that vampires are magnetic, I believe. At least their blood is. I wish to see if maybe that's how the information is conveyed. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I can definitely do that. But let's get out of here first.
All right, we start moving.
All right.
We should
So
get the doctor.
Oh,
The other doctor we came for.
No.
oh
Actually,
right.
The blood specialist, I think we kind of... Did we... I mean,
Do we even need him?
I don't think so.
I mean, he was supposed to give us access to a lab.
Yeah.
So yes, we need him.
Access?
I'll go
I
retrieve
want
him.
access to said lab.
Okay. Well, go.
You go back over to the VIP area,
Mhm.
and Ryzen's like standing over there and says, "Sure, Ryzen, keep your seat warm. You come sit."
I'm just like basically ignoring. I'm gonna look at the doctor. It's time to go.
Oh, hey. Ryzen very sad you leave. You
I
not want to
just
make
heard the dog.
Ryzen sad, right?
Yeah, next time we come back and party with you, okay? But now we have to go. The party's over. Okay? Come on, darlings. Resuming my whatever. Brushing my fingers across the security guard.
That totally just made me remember Sprockets from Saturday Night Live. Now we dance.
So while they're getting him, I'm just gonna look at Johnny. I'm gonna be like, "So, are you gonna ask her to have your kids next?
Is
You gonna settle down with her?"
is Evan there, or is Evan out of the van too? Evan's at the club as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, party.
Okay. So
Yeah.
since they're not in earshot, I will say to Tezla, the thing to understand is the most valuable thing we got out of there is we know the one Achilles heel that she has. She's approval seeking. She cannot stand that she's fallen into low, as a low person to the vampire community or to Dracula himself. We can use that, Tezla. I know that you were upset, and I understand, your emotions are important, but were you paying attention to the important things during that conversation?
Oh yeah, I was paying attention to all of it. I paid attention to when She talked about us like we were chess pieces. I paid attention to the part where she played you like a chump, and can convince two of us to drink blood before anybody could intervene. I watched as she gave us just enough information to send us towards the goals that she wants us to go for, with no benefit towards us whatsoever. It's like, are you really thinking that you got anything of value out of that?
I understand.
Maybe that one thing at the end, that one thing you just mentioned, was the only thing you got of value from her.
I understand, Tezla. You are young to the spy game, and you are still angry and self-righteous. But understand that your desire for the things that you want comes second to the mission. But I completely understand it's hard not to feel these things. It's
Johnny,
understandable.
What is our mission? Are we trying to stop Dracula? Are we trying to kill every vampire? It's like at this point, we're basically in a war to save our own species.
Yes, Tezla, you're not wrong. So you have to remember, she's her metaphor of a chessboard. You might find it repellent, but it wasn't incorrect. Right now, for all we know, she is a pawn of Dracula. And thus, if we follow her instructions, by taking out Edom, so are we. Maybe that's what Dracula wants at this point. See, this is the part of the game where we try to discern exactly what is the strategy of our opponent. We don't know yet, do we? The key, though, is... Go ahead, please.
No, I actually nod, and I'm like, okay, actually, I can agree with that. It's like you're thinking the same way I am. Is Edom an enemy? I mean, after all, Edom, even if they're researching vampires, they're still our species. They're still humans. If we look at it from the perspective of just our species against their species, Edom might be the final line of defense our species has against theirs taking over finally. So why would we dismantle Edom ever? As far as I can tell, they're using their own weapons against them. Edom could be our best friends in all of this. It's like we have no reason to go after Edom.
I'm glad that you are thinking again, Tezla. I would just offer that what you said is one potentiality among many. Understand, though, that we do not know yet whether or not Edom is our friend or our enemy. We don't know yet whether or not they've essentially just lived off their usefulness and now Dracula's trying to destroy them. Or is it that we really are free of his influence and they really are an organization that needs to be destroyed because they are still doing his bidding? But understand, if you read... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, what you need to understand is we have two liabilities in that club right now.
We have two
trying to get that doctor.
We have two direct connections to an essentially important information person who has to this date put us on our entire mission. Ever since we first left, she is the one who's been feeding us clues throughout this thing. So now we have met our puppet master, and now we must discern exactly what game she's playing and who is playing her. We are working our way up the ladder. That is how the game is played.
There you are, looking up to her again, like you're her fanboy. She let us on a leash, and now we're going to be her good little dogs, and we're just going to go exactly where she tells us to go. Of course. And we're going to pretend that we're actually going to get any useful information, and then she'll just tell us to go to the next place.
Absolutely. My friend, you are a mechanical genius, but your anti-authoritarian streak may be getting the better of you. Just for a little while about what
Wow.
I knew we knew this was coming. I didn't know it was going to be this good.
I spent most of my life working for the army, working for the NSA, going where they told me to go, killing who they told me to kill. I finally think that I'm going to break free of that. And here we are, going where they tell us to go and killing who they tell us to kill.
Well, now you're learning, Tezla. The maze itself has many levels. And some say that there is no top. There is no bottom. It is just endless manipulations upon manipulations upon manipulations. That is the game we play at headquarters. But I think that you have potential, Tezla, but you must overcome these emotional attachments you have to the things that you personally hold dear.
All right, you know what? You've never done me wrong, Johnny. So here's what I'll do. I'm gonna watch you. It's like, you think you can outsmart these creatures, then I'm gonna watch you play this chess game. And it's like, and then my role would be when I realize that you've deluded yourself to the point where you're already playing a losing game and you don't know it, then I'll be there to tell you that you done fucked up.
I'll tell you, Tezla. Here's the key. Remember, no matter what you do, you will always be someone's pawn. The key, though, is when you get close enough to their king and the pawn reaches the other side of the board and becomes a queen, you check them. Checkmate. You will be a pawn until the moment you drop off the board. That is the thing, and you'll be used by everyone else. The key, though, is to use their influences and their designs to achieve your own. That is how the game is played.
I'm just like, you need to figure out. Your first thing is you need to figure out what you're going to go do with those two, and we need to be careful what we say in front of them, because now they could be little mini spy cams.
They are.
From here on
That's
out.
why we're having this conversation now, and not while they're in the van.
But Evan's always in the van.
Well, you're in the
because-
club right now,
You're in the club.
skin tight friend. That's why I asked. Are you in the club? And you said yes.
Remember, I have surveillance everywhere I am.
Yeah.
So am I in the club, or am I like, no, it's a great song. No, I'm just totally in the club.
Fair.
I'm totally in the club.
That is a fair point.
But I will say,
you are the person who rigged up our van.
yeah, I will say,
Right.
yeah, likely everything you said is recorded, but I am high and in the club, so it's fine.
I'm hoping, Tezla, that you and the doctor can figure out some sort of what is it called, ferrying cage that we could possibly put around the van and our transportation that might give Lily and poor Evan some disconnection from their master controller.
Well, the hard part is that we're Evan's so electronically keen that I imagine that there's very few ways we can really fool him. So we're gonna have to get him to cooperate with this.
What is this palladium mesh around the van? I don't remember buying palladium mesh. That's so strange.
Exactly.
I don't understand what that is.
But Johnny,
Surprise! Happy birthday!
I don't want to wear those underwear, Johnny. They chafe so horribly.
Evan, put your helmet on.
They're a key for the crowd.
Put your helmet on. It's just a colander with like.
It's just foil.
We should have
Put the
Jason wear a
foil on.
colander from now on. Like, okay, is the colander on? Jason? The colander is on.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
However, I will say this: if she leads me to that kid who killed my partner, I am willing to play her game for at least a little bit.
All right, I turn to Tezla and the doctor and I say, and remember, whenever you're speaking in front of Lily and Evan, you say nothing against the lady, only that she is the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah,
now,
that's fair.
Tezla, I want you to wipe the tapes. I point to the back of the van.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. All right. Gonna go pull out those tapes.
But to boil it down a little bit, right? So the one thing we do know really is that it is a point that we could possibly manipulate her, is her reputation amongst the elder vampires. Clearly, it actually made her blood move, which is extraordinary that that could happen. The other things, I mean, we actually did find out a fair amount of information. The thing about it is, too, I'll just note, is that the ring now has not only maybe the unadulterated recordings that will actually tell us the true story of Dracula's the novel, but it also has this book. We know that as well. So we have two objectives to get out of that place. Are those two things? The more difficult question is exactly the one that Tezla and we just discussed, right? Is Edom something that we want to help preserve and work with, or is it something we actually want to destroy? And Johnny, just based on the fact that everybody wants us to destroy it, that's why he's asking the question, because he doesn't know, right?
Well, there's one way to
That is where we're definitely on the same page. I am a little bit proud of Johnny for realizing that, because I was afraid Johnny was going to be like, oh no, fuck, we got to destroy Edom. And I'm like, oh, thank God he at least realizes that Edom might be a resource for us.
And Johnny feigns with
So
amazing,
that did give me some hope.
and Johnny feigns with amazing convincingness that he appreciates your approval.
Oh, shit!
Hey, it's the character. What do you want?
Damn.
Wow,
Lily!
Johnny, I feel,
Call the
I
fire
feel like I'm really
department. The
listening.
burns are just.
Thank you, Tess.
Lily,
I
why did
appreciate
they
your
not
faith
come
in
to
me.
the party?
It makes me. It drives me forward.
Wow.
It makes this all worthwhile, my son.
Thank
Myra, you want
you.
to spend some
I-
dice of reassurance or anything?
No,
right.
you're good.
All right.
I'm like, wow, that Johnny sure is a stand-up guy.
I would just like the viewers. I want to pause for the viewers on YouTube. The viewers on YouTube should be doing this for Dan and Brent right now. That was awesome.
No
Like,
shit,
that
dude.
was
That was
fantastic.
Talk about a
So
dialogue,
good.
man. Like
Yeah.
that's like probably one of the most highlighted dialogues, dude. Like 20 minutes of just
Well,
back
Brent's
and
like, he's like,
forth.
Back and forth. Fuck you.
twist that
Fuck
knife,
you.
mate. Oh,
Yeah.
Daddy, how could you? Come on, man. What's wrong? It's like, if you ever seen what was it, Kung Fu Hustle? Every time the
Have I
bald frog
seen
guy
Kung Fu
twists them
Hustle?
around, the husband has to untwist them. So Johnny's the untwister. He's like, oh, I gotta untwist Tezla. It's like, oh, it's exhausting.
No.
I have to kind of lean into the doctor and sort of as we get to a slightly quieter spot, like out in the lobby as we're about to exit. How the hell did you get mixed up in this? If you're Dr. Mitchell's friend. So we're on the same page now. We can talk honestly. And Johnny's gonna rip your brain out anyway. Just wait till he stares at you with his little beady fucking eyes. But see, like that. I love it. Tarantino moment, right?
Yeah. He's like, I am this scientist. He says, I track and study these viruses from all around the world.
So you're saying they're infected with a virus?
I'm saying there are many things we do not know in this world.
Oh my god, you're just as fucking obtuse as she is. Do all of you speak this way? Shoot straight with me. Are they sick or are they fucking aliens? Come on, man. I can get you the hell out of here if you want.
Perhaps somewhat both. Are we not aliens? Where
No.
did life on Earth come from? There are those who believe it came from the stars. He seems to be like just totally into the science of what's going on.
So what, did they offer to let you study them or something? Like, do you realize you could have got Dr. Mitchell killed? She trusted you.
I would never harm those important to me.
No, you wouldn't, but that, I mean, you know, that pretty woman upstairs would.
Well, I suppose. I do my best not to make those who can hurt me be angry.
As we're leaving the club, I'm following Johnny and Tezla, and not waiting for Dawes and the other two. I'm pretty pissed with Evan and Lily. I'm worried about them. I'm anxious to get out of that club and move onwards. But at the same time, I don't want to leave them behind. I don't know what's going to have to go down with them, and so I'm purposefully making my way towards the exit, trying to keep up with Johnny and Tezla, and looking over my shoulder, trying to get Evan's attention. Come on, hurry up.
I'm coming.
I'm
dragging Evan and the doctor like they're a dog on the leash trying to go the other direction.
Right.
Dragging.
Knowing that also that Evan's high is going to be kicking in pretty hard here, and I'm getting to the van and mixing up a couple shots.
Yeah. So Evan, as you get to the door, you're kind of like the last to leave, and you're like, no, really, we need to stay and party.
Party time. Yeah.
And you get to the door and you go out, and just as the door begins to shut behind you, it closes. You hear a click, and the bouncers that are there at the door are kind of looking over your direction. They see you come out. They don't really say anything to you or anything. And before you get to the edge of the sidewalk, the door swings open wildly,
and Ryzen is there, and he says, what did you use as your name with Ryzen? I forgot.
Bruno. Probably.
Bruno. He said
something.
Bruno, don't forget, Ryzen take care of you. Ryzen take care of you always. And he like kind of puts this like leather bag, like with a zipper on it, up against your chest. And he's like, Ryzen always have what you need, my friend.
I glanced down. What the fuck is it? Some kind of weird talisman or what? Like, what is it?
Well, it's like a leather. It's like a little, almost like a bank bag, but it's only about like 5 inches. You open it.
I've got it kind of here, so I just sort of glance down.
It's full of packets of Street Scarlet.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I almost forgot this. This is an expensive camera. I say because they're behind me.
Yeah, they're behind you.
Yeah, thank you. Do you realize these are rare cameras? I hug him. They don't know that they do this shit. So. And I kind of, while I'm hugging him, I slip it down the front of my pants, right, while I'm close to him.
All right, so that's going to be tradecraft. You could spend some tradecraft.
No, he intentionally has this enormous bulge in the front of his pants.
He's already wearing this tight leather pants.
All right, I will.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I am.
Side effect of the bloodshot. I didn't anticipate that.
Spent. I
right.
did.
Yeah, so you do some like brief pass type stuff as you pocket what he gives you.
How is her most fabulous beauty doing?
Glance down at his at Evan's waistband and look back. We both roll our eyes.
I would.
Yeah, and
So now that we're outside,
I picture this sort of like.
I'm just gonna make myself start vomiting and try to vomit
No,
up as much
I'm handing you a shot as soon as you get to the van.
Bulimia, really?
Both shots because I expect one of you to take it gladly and the other to be reluctant about it.
All right, so you just kind of like stick your fingers down your throat.
I do that first, and then I take the shot, and then
you have every intent on doing that, but you find yourself unable to take that action.
I hand him the shot.
I take whatever god awful mixture this is about to be, and I drink it.
All right, you down it.
I quickly go to Evan and say, here, finish yours as well now.
What?
I want to
Not in the van.
I am stuffing something in my bag, kind of thing. Like right, yeah. Just literally, like this is we celebrate that we survived, and I don't even look at it.
Yes, it's a toast here.
Right, I just hand it right back to him. Yeah, right. I zip my.
It does not taste like berries.
What the? I think I would spit it out. Like, what the fuck is that? That's no whiskey I've ever tasted, Johnny.
Do I feel like you drank enough of it? Swallowed enough of it?
No, no.
Doctor?
What? Don't.
I hand him another one and make eye contact. Drink it.
What is it? I'm fine. Look.
It's a special toast. Drink it. That's right.
God.
This is standard spy stuff, man.
Yeah, and after you guys swallow, you see that the rest of us immediately close the doors of the van and don't open them for like 10 minutes.
As you're standing outside.
That's right. We just don't want the van covered with, used vampire blood.
All right. So you vomit after a few minutes.
What are we, barbarians?
I don't think Evan could. I think that, how Lily was mind controlled not to make herself throw up. Evan cannot willfully throw up on all of his equipment. He wouldn't do it.
No, you're right.
It's
You're
too
right.
precious.
So, yeah. So both of you vomit as much as you think you would. Evans obviously was drinking the alcohol in the club and so forth.
Yeah, I've had nothing but that vampire blood.
Yeah, you've had nothing but that vampire blood. So you probably had like some sushi earlier today, I would think, or maybe like a bowl of rice.
How stereotypical of you.
Yeah, right.
maybe some yakisoba, something like that.
Lily's completely
she
trying
vomits,
to
she gets-
empty your stuff.
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
both of you vomit onto the ground.
We'll come out with some Gatorade and Give
Some
them a little bit early enough so that
Pedialyte.
so electrolytes, so they drink it, they'll still be vomiting, but it'll help wash out their stomachs. So we'll give it to them early.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get dry after a while.
I-
right?
Yeah, so Dr. Mitchell, you being the scientist that you are, one of the first things you do is examine the vomit.
Oh, gross.
Absolutely. Is there any blood in that vomit?
There's none.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to work, but you got to do these things.
Why are you scooping that up? Oh, for God's sake. I get in the van. It's like, I'm going to, again, watching you do that.
It's just a little hemoccult slide. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
Any lilies?
No.
Huh. So she wasn't able to vomit, but it still didn't work. Interesting.
It's probably magically absorbed into their bloodstream because it's, I don't know, it's blood, magic blood, evil.
Take the natural
God.
Earth magnet and like, are their intestines or anything magnetic at all? Are we touching anything out of that?
No.
It's like, what do you still touch me there?
They didn't vomit up their intestine.
No, well, it's soaked into their digestive system. I'm assuming.
I'm just like, I'm like, hold on for a second. Give me one of those magnets. I'm gonna go up to Lily. I'm gonna rub this magnet all over your body, Lily. Okay, just hold still.
That is the worst fetish I've ever seen.
you can just see this shit-eating grin the entire time I'm rubbing the magnet over Lily.
You are the only one that should
Choose your
allow to
hand
do that.
placement wisely, or you'll lose it.
Yeah.
I've reclaimed my sword.
Is she magnetic?
Does anybody have a Geiger counter?
I just thought it was radioactive now.
I could spend some preparedness points.
Magnetometer?
You already spent your MOS.
I didn't spend my MOS. I said I spent some
Preparedness.
preparedness.
Oh, okay.
But I could spend my MOS for a Geiger counter.
Doctor, can you get any of this out of them?
Apparently not.
I mean, we could do dialysis if we had the right things. I don't know if that would do anything or not.
What
I mean, they're just. We have to just be honest with ourselves. Is that they're probably just host at this point. They're gonna have to just accept the consequences of their actions.
Could you draw their blood and see if any of the magnetic?
Oh, I'm already doing that.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
At this
Draw their
point, you've
blood
got like 9 samples of Lily's blood from every different point.
and see if it has any of the magnetic qualities to it. If it does, let's give them a whole body transfusion. Let's like change out their entire blood supply.
Yeah, that would take a long time.
John,
That's gonna be a lot of blood bags.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's sci-fi shit. You can't really do that.
Of course not.
Doc, now correct me if I'm wrong. I say as we're driving. Now, would a completely a complete colonoscopy actually probably be the correct approach? I mean, you should do it just with Evan.
Without the courtesy of the sedatives, right?
No, by the time the substance reaches that part of the anatomy, all the absorption has been done.
Well, maybe if like you get in there from both ends.
Like
just
as
really...
a thing, you mean? The natural consequence? No, it's not going to do.
Tesla's like,
I don't
maybe,
know.
maybe if we make a human centipede.
Like these schedules, I'm making this chart full of schedules of blood draws and what tests I'm going to run and all that kind of stuff, and gathering my equipment and firing up my spectrometer and whatever else I need to do to be testing all this blood.
All right, take us to the slab.
Take us to the slab.
It's like, what do you wish to know?
Yes.
We can start with everything.
There, you take all of these samples. He says, what do you wish to find? It's like, I have done some studies of these things you sent me.
I want to know what causes these changes, what causes this power, what gives them power, what takes power away.
All I know is those who have drank of Elspeth are unable to harm her.
I cannot find any difference in their blood streams. I believe it's something neurological. Almost
Doctor,
possibly psychological.
are these two having a private conversation?
The
or are they all part
magnetism.
of it?
No, he's just talking.
Do you have any theoretical treatments? You studied this blood in depth. Certainly, you must have some dangerous, life-threatening process that has a 1 in 50 chance of working.
Stop it. I mean, she's drawing blood from me, right? I'm sitting right there. Stop it. All right?
I do not believe that they are directly magnetic. I believe they are affected by telluric currents.
Telluric currents, yeah, we talked about that a couple sessions ago.
Yeah.
Yes, these powers in the earth. I believe there are areas of the earth in which they are stronger. These are very important to her kind and others like her. They're all different. He says, I have studied several lineas that she has given me access to, and they all respond differently. The strongest ones were the ones you sent to me, or from the Prosper Pine.
Okay.
He says, as you seem to know already, I was studying some of them firsthand.
Why did you not tell me?
For your protection, of course.
We think it's
Such a bullshit excuse.
Well, I suppose it could be, but I did not want to expose you to all of this. It was better you did not know.
What did you think I was going to make of all of this? You preferred to let me stumble blind while also assigning me to work on this?
You are a very intelligent woman. You have skills and traits that I do not. Friends, obviously, that are skilled at other things I am not.
I'll just look up at it.
He says,
I glance at
these
Lily.
are things that must be studied from all resources. Look at all these.
In ignorance.
Better to not taint the subject if you do not know.
So you're studying me.
I'm studying the situation. Do you, just like a blind study, you know, you do the results match? Do your results match my results? Do we approach them in the same manners?
Real scientists respect the autonomy and the need for informed consent.
You did not say no when I sent you to investigate this. That seems to me like consent.
Informed consent means truth.
I told you many truths.
You gave me no veracity. What did you really want from me?
An aid in uncovering these things. I knew that I was probably but a pawn. You have gotten closer to her than I have. I'm unsure exactly what you know at this point, but I'm hoping more than I know. Perhaps together we can continue to uncover this.
I think she doesn't want you to know. I don't think the information is mine to share with you. What did you want when you got into this with her? What's your aim? It's clearly not science.
Resources.
Resources for?
The World Health Organization has very deep pockets, but there are some who have pockets even deeper. Things at their disposal that we do not have.
So this is about money? You would...
Well,
they pulled a needle out of my arm. You would sell her out for money?
I put my hand over Evan's mouth without even looking at him.
Through science, of course. To be able to study these things no one else has ever seen. To have our names live on, like those of Darwin and Einstein.
So pure scientific interest. That's your line.
Why, of course. What do we have other than science?
Power, greed.
More
Self-interest, creating a legacy. I say from the front.
Immortality.
Oh, I do not wish immortality.
Well, you don't have my trust anymore.
I understand.
All right. Well, Doc, what bridge do you want us to throw him off of?
I want him to get us into the
Whoa! No one needs to throw people off.
So I'm gonna slip off.
I want
like,
Lily
all right.
to convince him to keep his mouth shut.
As she's sort of talking to him, I'm gonna push her hand away and kind of move to the side and brush against him. Like, all right, I got it. And I'm gonna drop a tracking device somewhere on his person. And just like, all right, I got it, and I'm gonna give them a breather and kind of like.
We're in a van, so it's very.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. So
Right.
I thought we had moved on. So yeah, I'll
Tezla
just
takes a corner real sharp, and Evan slams it to dust.
I was picturing she's taking blood at like some kind of place, but all right. So she's taking blood in the van.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I mean, we have the best van that's ever existed.
So I would sort of shove off of her and into him, and just kind of push a tracking device into his coat or whatever.
I try not to smile because I know what Evan just did.
You've seen it so many times.
Do we know if he has any family? Are there any pictures on his desk?
Lily's gonna kill them all.
I mean,
Dr. Mitchell would know.
Yeah. Tell me, what do I know?
You know many things. Far beyond me, I'm sure.
What?
Yeah.
I'm asking Byron.
Yeah, Byron. What does she know about his family?
I'm asking Byron.
Wouldn't it be
what
great
I know
if that
about Dawson's
NPC
family situation.
If that
Dawson's
NPC
family
took over
situation.
Byron forever.
He has an estranged daughter.
You're gonna smack Byron. Byron, come out of it.
Sorry.
Wake up!
Well, yeah, he has an estranged daughter that he hasn't talked to in several years. He's in some boarding school in England. Also his wife died several years ago
So
from
he has no one.
some sort of cancer. And he has a brother in the German BND, like military / like their version of the CIA.
So you want me to make him be quiet?
It was such a shame. Nobody knew how depressed the doctor was, and then he just wrote that suicide note. Left it where it was, uploaded it to Facebook, and I wink at Evan. Oh wait, sorry, MySpace. It's 2000.
It's totally MySpace. Yeah.
No.
Who's gonna give a shit? Tom's gonna get upset with his death. How many friends does he have? Does he have more than me? Probably not. No way.
Oh, you see how many friends he has?
Hell yeah. Does he got a lot of friends?
He's on Facebook looking at his friends list.
Yeah, I get up on his MySpace. Does he have like?
Is he like one mutual friend?
Oh, is it the vampire lady? Because I totally accepted her request right away. Like right.
That's how she knows so much about you, Evan.
Yeah.
God. Mystery solved.
If Evan's just talking a lot in the van, you see Johnny appear with some Tic Tacs. Here you go. Take one of these. Take two. Take three. It's okay.
He's just feeding him Tic Tacs.
Sedatives.
Yeah. Same with Lily.
No.
It's the post-emetic breath.
I love these mints, Johnny. I've
been trying to find them online for a long time. Just
But
Vince.
It's just like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for Lily and I. And for the rest of you, it's a spy thriller. It's this weird duality of we're just. Do you see?
I kind of like glare at Dawes, and so that in such a way that he will hopefully keep his seat and like fold his hands nicely in his lap, while I like slip the pulse oximeter and recheck the blood pressure of both Lily and Evan here, and document my findings in my little chart. Just
Okay.
as we're doing this other stuff, I'm
So
doing my doctor stuff.
yeah, Lily's blood pressure is surprisingly exactly flat. During the time that she's threatening him.
This is consistent with other tests that we've done, right?
It's consistent with any other person she's ever threatened.
It's
Right.
consistent also with other mental conditions that Lily may or may not be suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, suffering is putting exaggerating.
Suffering is only for others,
That's right.
not for me.
I don't think she suffers at all. All right.
Do their heartbeats now in sync? Like are Evan and Lily's
Oh,
hearts
that'd
like
be
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
I'm
No.
just not going to say what I'm thinking. Okay.
now I really want to hear what you're thinking.
Internet!
The Brenternet struck
All right.
Oh, the
again.
Brenternet.
As a bio break.
Yeah, this is a bio
That
break
sounds
time.
like a great bio break.
We were talking while you guys were away, and the thought is well, I'll say it in character. Essentially, he doesn't know anything more than his master does, and he might be of some use later. So there's really, as far as I can tell, no point in damaging or eliminating the man. As far as I can tell, if anyone disagrees.
He's also a very knowledgeable hematologist.
Exactly.
Those are our own Dr. Titty Mitchell.
True.
And so, Doctor, this is what we were talking about while you were away. Maybe we should just leave him because there's no reason really to kill him.
So the only question I would ask, should we take him to a safe house? Because just putting him back in the wild, is he ready for that? And what sort of damage might he do if he weren't supervised?
Do we think the vampire will protect him from the Russians?
No.
She was obviously using them.
To get to her, I bet you.
Do we feel like he's is she his piece, like basically like on the board, like that, not that she protect him, or is it what I keep have to look Evan's saying essentially correct, that basically he's in danger from the Russians?
I mean, he was a resource, so you don't know if the Russians are aware of his presence.
Well, they came to his office that we were breaking into to kill us, right? I thought they were Russians.
Yeah, so they went there to. You're not really sure what their reasoning was, but you do remember that the bouncers at the bar were ex-Spetsnaz.
Right.
Oh, so it was all part of the same group in the end. Is that right?
Yes, they were all part of the same group.
Oh, well, Evan, it's all family. It's all chummy.
So you know that the doctor was being monitored by them recently, but you don't know like why. Was he being monitored to make sure he was telling the whole truth? Was he being monitored to, you know what I mean? You're not really sure what the reasoning behind it was.
Great. Friendly monitoring or Foley monitoring?
And you do know that all the information, the samples and stuff that Terry had provided back up the food chain to him were shared with Elsbeth.
So you guys want to take a flash vote? We all, like, on the count of 3, do thumbs up or down. Whoever gets the most votes, he lives or dies.
You're just doing this in the van while he's still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right.
We're
Tesla,
voting to kill him or to let him
down
die?
is kill, up is live.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, vote. Oh, of course.
Does this
Of
surprise
course.
you at all? Does
Okay.
that surprise you at all?
If I'm voting to kill someone, I have to vote to kill him. Like,
I'm sorry, Lily. Democracy must rule.
The only thing I want to remind you of, Johnny, is the kind of monitoring and friendship that he has with these folks is the one that led him to keep a Beretta in his drawer next to the blood. Something's not right. And it's probably not the HR lady at the World Health Organization.
It's probably not Julia.
Right, it's probably not.
Fascinating, Evan. You have a point.
Always with the tone
He's
of
like,
surprise.
which is more fascinating, the point or the fact that Evan actually had one? I don't know.
Yes.
It actually really made sense.
I defer to you.
So are we gonna leave him with an intact memory? Or you're gonna make this little foggy?
Just
What,
let him go.
You
I'll
got like
kill
one of
him
those
later
Men in
if he-
Black pens or something?
Or no,
Leave
but
him
there
go,
are
and I'll fuck him
medications
up
that
later
can,
if he talks some shit.
yeah, there are medications that can alter your memory of the last few hours.
And Lily, could you give him a burner in case we need to talk to him?
Ooh, he's just got like a like a discount, a group discount deal with
A group discount.
She's like a
With
7-Eleven,
burner
man.
phones.
She's got like a whole rack of burner phones.
7-Eleven.
Still in plastic.
She opens her trench coat.
Her dad's
There's
like
a burn. I have different aisles in my trench coat.
her dad's like a
Here's
senior
the burner
engineer.
phones.
Her dad's a senior engineer at Nokia or something sweet. So
That's good.
So I hope that during all this that Evan has had a chance to pull up a photo of his daughter.
That he
And-
doesn't really
Wait.
talk to.
Devin,
Yeah, you could definitely find a picture.
Evan doesn't have it also.
Listen. Not talking to your daughter doesn't mean you don't want her to live and be happy. I just want
I will
Evan
thoroughly
or
threaten.
someone to just have the picture up. I don't even want them to say anything. I just want the picture up.
Oh, so I will
It's just
have it
built
up,
on the computer,
and
while
I
we're
will be
threatening him.
tracing. I will be tracing my fingers on her lips, right? As I hear the right? And then when it comes to a moment,
Which
I'll
ones?
kind of glance over my shoulder and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, doctor," and minimize it so it's just a speck and go back to something
Yeah.
else.
You're just like no words, just feelings.
Yes. Oh God, that's dark. But yeah, that's
so creepy.
back.
So anyway, yeah, I want Dawes to see that. No words. Sometimes silence is more powerful.
Mhm.
Elspeth would definitely agree with you. Yeah, he's like, what do you think I would do? He's like, I would never sell you out.
Let's keep it that way.
No one's talking about that. We don't need to say those things. Right?
Right,
We're all on the same side here, right?
as always.
Gentlemen.
Agreed.
No, it's
Agreed.
okay.
And as he leaves, here's
He
$10,000.
kind of like
Agreed.
runs across the parking lot and then he kinda
Well,
looks back and he goes,
We'll give. Here's $10,000 and your gun. Go in peace. Oh, and here's the burner phone. If we need you, answer it.
And hey, here's a memory card with a footage of what you've been doing in the office for the last 3 weeks. And listen, if you think they're not watching that angle, they are. That's wow. I put it in his coat pocket.
It's just a flash drive full of nothing. There's copious amounts of.
You know what it is? It's a flash drive full of Teletubbies episodes. It's just nothing but Teletubbies episodes.
That's the creepiest yet. Ugh.
Exactly. Yeah. Since we're
Down the
going.
road.
All right, so
you see,
Doctor
a
Rich.
note that he committed suicide on the
Right. Our suicide note. I mean, his suicide note. Yeah.
So neo Nazi scientist dude
In Greece.
different era in Greece.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, I think this is a good place to end for tonight, honestly.